And everything that kicked out also killed my sound, too. Thank you, OBS Streamlabs. Okay, we're back. The Star Citizen client was being cranky. My streaming software was being cranky. But we finally got it back together again. Let's hope that the server doesn't crash. Thank you, Cap. Sorry, guys, for the technical difficulties. We seem to have gotten them ironed out. Let's hope that everything's loading properly. I'm going to take a quick peek to make sure that things are actually happening on the console, which they are, so I'm not dealing with an endless loading screen. Because, that would just be icing on the cake. So we will be able to get back to the Titan Avenger showcase. The bad news, though, is I'm in Arc Core, which means I've got to go all the way from the halves to the spaceport again. The whole point with me starting my stream at the spaceport was so that people wouldn't have to suffer through this part. But I am at the mercy of the game client. And that's something I want to definitely call attention to. Bugs happen in this game. Star Citizen is still in an alpha status. That has not changed. It is very playable, but it also means that it has bugs. Lots and lots and lots of bugs. Be aware of that. If the little details like this cause you high blood pressure problems, this is not where you want to be. But if you can handle the fact that, yeah, stuff happens in this game, well, it's certainly worth checking out. Now, I kind of like Arc Core in general concept because, the whole idea of the city planet is one I've always found very appealing. Now, to be fair, it's not really a city planet exactly. I kind of view it more as a factory planet. It's just that the various various area... it's the bus. Figures. The various areas on the world are city-like. There really isn't a whole lot to Arc Core as far as locations to visit. Let's see if I can get this thing to zoom in on. Arc Core, there we are. If you go to the planet here, you've got Area 20, Area 6, Area 4, Area 11, Area 18, of course, and my bus is coming in, Area 17. And there must be other areas because, if we have Area 18, you would think that 1 through something would also be there, but I've not seen them. But unlike the landing areas at, say, Hurston or Microtech, there's nothing at these areas. Nothing. I mean, they're just areas to fly to, and that's it. Now, you might get lucky. There might be some buildings that have landing pads on them. But there's no centralized outpost landing area where you can pick up goods and transport them hither and yon. So that's a big black mark against Arc Core right there. Adding insult to injury, as far as missions go, there aren't a whole lot of missions, at least as far as combat missions go. Bounty missions are rare. There are some mercenary missions, but not as prevalent as you'll find around Hurston or Crusader. One could argue the fact that the reason why things are better here is because Hurston and Crusader have large criminal elements, but I wouldn't say that much. Now, it'd be nice to think that the Avenger Titan will still be available for calling up at the vehicle retrieval terminals, at the ASOP terminals. but I don't have high hopes on that arena. But there is some good news on that front, because for some strange, sick reason, I have 2 Avenger Titans. I don't know if I accidentally bought one and didn't realize I'd bought 2. I'd bought them in game, so you know, it's not like I pledged on them. My conscience is clear. Okay, well, good news is it's still listed at the Cuban mining facility, which means I can claim it. 2-minute delivery time. But I can get it right now if I pay the fee, which I will. So, let's try this again. As I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, the Avenger Titan is considered by most of the folks I've talked to the best starter package in the game. Or the best starter ship in the game, at least. It has more cargo space than the Aurora MR. Firepower, well, that might be a little bit more of an open question. And it has a larger cargo grid than the Aurora, or the Mustang. Unlike the Aurora, it is not a flying box. We're going to go into the cockpit this time, just to demonstrate that, yes, I don't have to go into the back door. Alright, let's power on up. It looks like I've got... Yes. It looks like what I've got in front of me right now are the side doors, which is worth pointing out about Area 18's hangars. Some of them are drop-in, but for smaller ships, you've got the horizontal landing areas, which is kind of neat. Now that said, it would be very easy to accidentally go into the no-fly zones taking off from here, and that could have unpleasant consequences involving the autopilot, which is a sick and twisted AI. But hopefully I can get myself up, 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 and clear. And there we go. And incidentally, since I'm doing the third-person view right now, take a look at this. This is how you identify the spaceports when you're approaching. Sometimes you want to travel to Area 18 and you can't figure out where the heck the spaceport is. It is not a big tower or anything like that. It is a flat, almost arrowhead-like structure. That's what you want to aim to. Okay. Now that that's settled, let's pull a contract again, shall we? Lyria. Walla. I'm tempted to do that just because I like saying Walla. To Walla we go. Hey, I was at Lyria when we got 30k, so I feel it's fair to hit the other major moon of Arccore. No, that is where I want to go. Now, let's see. Target is this way. Let's see if we can get this done without getting a 30k server crash again. Those of the religious persuasion are encouraged to pray at this time. Quantum drive for the stock Titan is not necessarily the best in the world. But for when you're doing travel within a planetary system, it's probably good enough. Honestly, I expected the servers to be pretty stable with all the people going to the public test universe today, but who'd have thunk it? And we're on the daylight side of Walla, which is good because I like to be able to see where I'm going. Unlike the Lyria sheet of ice, we have a very definite moon-like quality to Walla. Because of the lack of atmosphere, I can get myself moving at a pretty good clip here. Much like Lyria, I am able to go really fast. Which has its pluses and minuses, because if I go really fast, I might accidentally overshoot my target, and that would be inconvenient. Alright, here we go, here we go. Only one landing pad. And the packages are in 2 different buildings, because why would it make my life simple?
Landing gear deployed.
Landed down.
Landing complete.
Turn off the engine, and we'll head out the back. And conveniently, I am facing one of the areas that I need to pick a package up from. It's almost as if I planned it that way. Now, for those who missed the early part of this stream, a quick explanation. The cargo I am delivering are contained in quantum-sensitive containers, or the cargo itself is quantum-sensitive. That means I can't use the handy quantum travel like I used to jump from moon to moon or planet to moon to deliver these. I have to do that, I have to fly them pretty much as is. Standard flight. Can't be fancy, can't be clever. Otherwise, the containers will explode. And depending on the ship they're being carried in, they could also take out the ship. I probably shouldn't have to say that this ship would probably be under the qualifying arena of, yes, it will blow up my ship. And here we go. You know, I have a terrifying feeling that if I were to replay this stream, I'm going to hear the phrase, "here we go," far too many times. This is why I'm not a professional, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just an amateur with some software and a computer. Once we get this package loaded, we can deal with Phase 2, delivery. The contract says to deliver these to 2 different locations. Close the door. Okay, the door opened. Thank God. Not another server crash. Not too paranoid, am I?
Engine down.
And take off. Now let's take a look and find out where my target destinations are. One is not quite on the other side of the moon. The other one is quite on the other side of the moon. And adding insult to injury, I'm not actually seeing a destination marker for one of them. Maybe I better read my contract a little more carefully here. Shady Glen in a mining area. So there's the mining area. Where's Shady Glen? Does Shady Glen no longer have a marker? Oh, you know what? That's okay. If I head towards Samson and Sons, that puts me in the right general direction. I hope. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start cranking the speed up. We're going to follow the curvature of the moon. And hope that I'm going in the right direction. Oh, yeah, I shouldn't change directions too hard when I'm doing things like that. Maybe I better slow down when I try the maneuver. Turning in this thing when I'm going at high velocity is probably not the smartest thing I can be doing. What I want to do is try to line up, there we go, line up more or less with that down arrow, because that will theoretically be the shortest point between two lines. Afterburner up a bit. And then we'll just follow the curvature. While we're doing that, let's fill some of that time with the other contract type that I plan to do later today. There is a search tab here, and they include salvage claims, and they have these packages. The problem is that these are volatile, and they will have a time limit attached to them. So if you don't get them to the destination before the time limit's out, well, boom! Are you sensing a pattern? There's a lot of boom involved. Now, there's also a third type of sensitive cargo that has not yet entered the game proper. I've only seen it during the Xenothreat event they had. And that would be kind of impact sensitive. Bounce them around too much or be too violent with your turns, I guess. They go boom. I'm not sure why we haven't gotten that cargo into the game proper yet, but I figure it'll happen sooner or later. If nothing else, there's supposedly another Xenothreat event that is on deck. Probably going to be sometime relatively early during 3.14. Cap likes the Titan because of the multiple entrances. Nice for doing cargo runs, you just have to run in and sell something. Yep, I got no argument on that one. You can go out through the back, or you can go out through the cockpit, although to be fair, you can't really take the cargo. Well, I guess you could technically take the cargo out through the cockpit, but at that point, why would you? The cargo's all in the back. But having an alternate route out, I will never argue with being able to take a different route to get out of your ship. Or to get back in, for that matter. Could come in handy if you have, for some reason, your ship kind of upside down on its landing pad. Having an alternate way in is a big plus. Especially if it involves ladders. Okay, we are currently 245 kilometers out. If we were going on a direct line, that would be not quite 5 minutes. Unfortunately, we are not going in a straight line, because if we went in a straight line, we would collide through the surface of the moon and make an impression. We're not looking to make that kind of impression. Oops, why do I have my landing gear still down? Put that back up. Weapon systems, there's those lasers. There's the Gatling. Depending on where things stand, we may get a chance to demonstrate the utility of such weaponry. Yeah, you can see the design of the Titan a little bit more cleanly here with the unfiltered sunlight. You see the hexagonal patterning. At least on the wing, like in the front. Why it doesn't have it on the top, I'm not entirely sure. I'm sure there's a wonderful in-game reason for that, but darned if I know. Okay, we're closing in pretty good now. 155 kilometers and closing fast. I can afford to kind of drop a little bit as far as my altitude. I should run out of horizon before I run out of altitude, theoretically speaking. But it means I can kind of do a little bit more of a, not quite a straight line, but closer to a straight line. And that'll help cut the time down substantially. We are theoretically, under 2 minutes away from our destination. Barring any horrible surprises. That is not a request for horrible surprises to happen. Kilometers. Unfortunately, we are having the downside of being near the dark side of the moon, so to speak. So let's put the lights on and hope that I don't have a lot of debris flying around to obscure my vision. Luckily, it's not Lyria, so I'm not really expecting a whole lot in the way of debris. 1 minute. Try to avoid bouncing off a mountain. That would be so very inconvenient. Coming up on the 30-kilometer mark any moment now. And mark. Okay, I was a little early. The good news is we are in the home stretch for package number 1. And the good news is package number 2 is not horribly far off from this location. Let's hope, right? Okay, let's start getting myself down to standard combat maneuvering speed. Because I like to be able to maneuver and not have to worry about overshooting too badly. The problem is I'm still not seeing the landing area, or even build vault. I'm not surprised that there's no landing area. I mean, there we go. There we go. Yeah, I'm saying it again. I don't know why there was no marker for this. I mean, just about everywhere has a marker these days. Even the criminal places, which I wouldn't expect to have markers, have markers. But, for some reason, this one did not.
Landing complete.
Alright, kill the engines.
Engines offline.
I take a quick look. I want package 430. It's always important to deliver the correct package. This is, again, illustrating one of the things I like about these delivery missions. You don't see places like this under normal gameplay. If you're just bounty hunting or blowing ship up, nice turn to phrase that. You don't get to see these areas. You're in space and blowing up starships, fighters. You see asteroids all the time. You don't see what it's like on the ground. It's also another reason why I like doing some of the ground FPS missions. Seeing places. It's always nice. So we have a standard Kovalex shipping box. We're going to place the container in there, which you'll note fits nicely and neatly inside. Box goes closed. Thumbs up. Half of our cargo is delivered. That leaves us to the second destination. Okay, I admit that I left the back door open, but I'm going to go up the front anyway because it'll get me there faster. Power on the engines. We're going to close the exterior because flying with the back end open feels unsafe. Call me crazy, but I'd like to stay at least somewhat stable. Next destination, I can set the route for, so at least I'll have no trouble finding it.
Launch complete.
We'll get our speed up again. Want to get some altitude before I start. Yeah, let's lower the speed because I forgot about the turning problem. Oh, hold on. There we go. Center that more or less. Rise myself up. And kick on them afterburners. I wonder if I've temporarily overheated my engines. Why do I keep forgetting to bring the landing gear up? I usually don't have that problem. Honest. But apparently the distance between this delivery and the next delivery was actually more than I thought it was going to be. 320 kilometers. Yeah, you'll notice occasionally when I'm doing these turns that everything's going red. G-forces do happen in this game. And if you try to do some high-speed maneuvering, you can make yourself pass out. Needless to say, passing out under some circumstances would be a very bad thing. Like, say, if you're in an asteroid field. or if you're doing low flying, or you're in the middle of a dogfight, blacking out is not a good thing. It's also been known to happen if someone manages to hit you so hard that you're spinning out of control and you can't get to slow down. That'll black you out too. And at that point, you're pretty much done. Now, luckily, this is usually not a major problem because you'll notice over on the heads-up display, this little indicator says G-Safe. So it will try, under most circumstances, to avoid putting you into a situation where you will lose consciousness by high-speed maneuvers. I would also like to mention that you can disable G-Safe. So some of those folks who are expert dogfighters are willing to chance having their brains melt out of their ears if that will give them the advantage they need to defeat their targets. Is it really useful? I don't really know for sure. I don't really generally tend to fly with G-Safe off. I mean, I've been known to decouple my ship, which gives me some extra maneuver. Let's just say it allows me to do more of the Battlestar Galactica Viper fighting rather than the Star Wars X-Wing fighting. But G-Safe is something I tend to leave alone because I usually find that if I lose consciousness or am at the point where I'm near losing consciousness during a dogfight, that's bad. Why give the enemy more time to take you out? No. Don't make it easier on the guy to kill you. Now, you may change your mind if you happen to be an expert flyer. Oh, I am flying a little too low. Let's get some altitude back. Last thing I need is the aforementioned mountain smash. I'm pretty sure that I don't get paid if I don't deliver this to the proper destination. Delivering it into the side of a mountain will not count. We are under 2 minutes out. Presuming that I don't do anything wacky with my velocity. Like come to a sudden, complete stop with the rest of the ship coming with the same rate of speed. Kilometers now. There we go. And I think I can start leveling off a little bit. Even dropping a little bit of my altitude. Had to run downstairs for a minute. Is this a QT sensitive mission? Yes, it is. We are about, in fact, to deliver the second and final package for the quantum sensitive mission. Presuming that I don't screw something up horribly like hit a mountain or anything like that. But we are 47 kilometers in closing fast. So I have high hopes. In fact, since this is a mining facility, they should even have landing pads to land upon, not like my previous destination. 25 kilometers and closing. I think I got my light on, but I'm not 100% sure. I need a headlight indicator. I mean, most cars do these days. Why can't we have one for starships? Not sure if you've done them already, but the time-sensitive ones are kind of fun and a little challenging. Well, it's interesting that you should mention that, because that is on the list. In fact, once we drop this package off, it will be the next on the list. Okay, here we go. Single landing pad. Drop the gear down.
Landing gear deployed.
And we'll set down.
Landing complete. Engines offline.
Now, I've yet to actually do the time-sensitive missions. So this will be a brand new thing. Why did the chair not... No, you know what? I'm not even going to ask that question. I'm just going to deliver this package so we can move on. And naturally, I turned myself completely around as opposed to moving in the correct direction the first time. A lot of the outposts use a lot of the same parts. They tend to be prefab structures. You don't see a whole lot of uniqueness to the outposts. We'll drop this off, and then we'll get paid. Unless something bugged out, of course. Give me the thumbs up. There it is. Objective complete. Deliver package. Contract complete. Money complete. Now again, this took an absurdly lengthy period of time for 10,000 UEC. Just for giggles. I'm going to buy 8 standard cargo units of diamond. So we'll take a look at what the Avenger Titan looks like when it has cargo on board. It's only 8 standard cargo units. It's not exactly what you call a massive haul. But if you're going back and forth between locations, why not try to arrange to get extra money? Even though right now cargo hauling is a bit of a bear. Now you can see on the one hand, we have nice filled up cargo bay. On the other hand, now I can't get... Okay, I take it back. Okay. Let's do this in third person to truly appreciate the insanity here. I am walking through the cargo boxes. This is not supposed to be happening. Just an FYI. Man, that's creepy. Okay, let's close up the exterior again. And go into contracts. As Cap has pointed out, there is that other type of mission, which are the Zeta Prolinide salvage planes, where we can go in, grab the cargo, and then we have the timer start on us. They're both to Samson and Sons. I'm only grabbing one of these because I have no idea how much that limited time is. And there are 4 packages. Oh boy, did this just get complicated. Now the good news is the timer doesn't start immediately. The timer is not starting right now. That comes later. So we're going to go to Lyria, and it's close to Humboldt Mines, so we're going to set a route there. Engines active. Turn off my lights. Get the acceleration going. Get high enough so I can start activating quantum drive. The quantum drive that had spent a lot of time dormant during that set of deliveries. Four packages. It's too much to hope for that they'll be all close together. Of course, it's also too much to hope for that they'll be on the lighted side. I am willing to bet a substantial amount of credits that they will be on the dark side of the moon, because that's just how my luck runs. As always, I like to recommend that people, when they think about things to upgrade on their ships, consider the quantum drive to be a pretty high priority. Especially if you plan to do a lot of travel. And if you're playing Star Citizen, you'll be doing a lot of travel. You can generally do a lot better than the default drives. Now, once we reach the mines, we will do a hard turn towards the wreck of the Caterpillar, I believe it said. I hope it was a Caterpillar, because if it turns out to have been Starfarer, I'll just go completely nuts. Alright, only 38 kilometers. We can cover that in a pretty rapid period of time, thanks to the lack of atmosphere. Well, lack of any appreciable atmosphere. Down to 24. 18. 15. Now, the fact that we have all these mountains here, that kind of gives you a good feeling about flying something like the Titan. If you were trying to do this in, say, a Mercury, or a Carrack, or any larger ship, finding a decent place to land would be rough. But in this, not so much. Alright, now you can see we have all these packages down here. And I'm going to try to park myself relatively close, because, well, we did say something about the time sensitive, right? Let me see where I'm at as far as in relation to the... Okay. Oh yeah, it would help if I had the landing gear down. I'm doing great with the landing gear today. Either I forget to put it down or I forget to put it up.
Engines offline.
Okay, I'm kind of tilted, but the land is kind of tilted, so, you know, you take what you can get. And now we come to an interesting dilemma. I still can't believe I can walk right through those crates. And the interesting dilemma is this. The timer starts when I open... Well, let's take a look at where the package is first so I can properly show it. The timer starts when I pull the package out of this big crate container. Once I do that, the inevitable countdown to doom starts. So the question now comes, do I want to grab all the packages in one trip? Or would I be smarter to do, say, a couple packages at a time? That kind of makes it a little more interesting, doesn't it now? Well, let's grab the first package. And to do that, you have to open it up here. And you can see we have... Did that say 13 minutes? That says 13 minutes. Oh, hell. If they're going to be 13 minutes, I think we're good. I can do this in 13 minutes, right? And I'm going to put these over in here because I want to be able to find them. So here we go. The first timer started. Of course, this is all predicated on me not having a hard time finding the way into the caterpillar sections. Oh, come on now. There we go. Ah! Oh, No! Okay, well, you know, this just got a little bit more ugly, didn't it? Looks like I can't get in the way I wanted to get in. Okay, if I can jump up there. Oh, yeah. I think maybe 2 is going to be the smart way to go here. Okay, if I were an exit, where would I be? Oh, yeah. Ah! No. Okay, okay. We're good. We're good. All right, now we get to the real question. Am I really brave or really stupid? I'm going to go with the stupid. Okay, next one. Okay, where's those boxes? Okay, that jump did not go the way it was supposed to. Okay, if I keep having trouble getting myself up here, then I'm going to just say, the heck with this and deliver the 3 packages first and come back for the 4th later. And yeah, we'll just drop it. I know, I said I was going to do 3. I did say something about being really stupid, right? The other one's over here. Where's this box? There we go. There's the boxes I want to jump on. And jump on. And get out of dodge. Open up. Yeah, I'm knocking them over, I know. The clock is still ticking.
Engines online. Launch complete.
And yes, I know my exterior is still open. I'll be closing that momentarily. Destination. Destination. Where's my drop-off? Samson and Sons over at Walla. Suddenly I'm regretting not having a better quantum drive. Now, in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have loaded up the diamonds. Not so much because I'm worried about the money lost buying the diamonds, because it's only 8 standard cards. We're not talking huge amounts of credits for me. I mean, I'm carrying over 2.7 million credits. The amount I would lose off the diamonds is nothing. But if I didn't have the diamonds there, I could have put the boxes, the time-sensitive boxes, nicely in a row, all on the floor, so I could see which one was going to blow up soonest. And because it's a salvage center, that means that it's not going to have maybe the most convenient landing areas. If I'm lucky, I can get this landed close to where I need to drop them off. Because, you know, tick-tock, tick-tock. Afterburner's on. I really want to close up the time as fast as possible here. You know, I'm closing a lot faster than I thought I would be. Okay, 2 kilometers. And I really want to drop this ship right next to the building, or at least as close as I can. Luckily, since this is an Avenger Titan, it's actually a small enough ship that I probably can get a lot closer than if I would if I were flying, say, I don't know, a Freelancer. Or a Cutlass, for those of you who have this sad devotion to the Cutlasses. I wonder if I can land on top of that thing. It's probably pushing it.
Landing gear deployed. Landing complete.
Alright.
Engines offline.
Let's take a look at the packages. Oh, I still have my flashlight on. Okay, I've knocked things askew a little bit. 6 minutes on that one. I have no idea the other one, but I bet you it's smaller. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, what have I done? What have I done? Okay, I have no idea what just happened there, and I don't care. Where's my delivery area? Oh, right over here. I managed to put myself through the wall of my ship, which is not generally something I want to be doing, but I'm not going to argue because tick-tock, tick-tock. I'm not going to wait for that thing to close. Tick tock, tick tock. I want that one. 3 minutes. Pressure, pressure. Let's hope the thing cycled the first one through already, because otherwise I could have problems. Okay, some of the pressure's going off here. That one was the one that was closest to exploding, so. Some of the pressure is beginning to ease. This one has 5 minutes, and the other one has more. So it looks like we are going to have a successful mission on this one. And finally, the last package. This was made a lot easier by the fact that I'm doing this in the Javelin. I'm not the Javelin. Javelin, that was funny. Doing this in the Titan. Because the Titan is a small enough ship to actually put me practically right next to where I need to deliver. Larger ships, I'm usually trying to park on the outskirts, and that means more time is being used. And we've already discussed time being the enemy, right? And just like that, all packages are delivered. Contract complete. You know, just out of curiosity, one of the nice things about the locations here is that they often also have trade terminals. They almost never sell anything to you. See, they got nothing here. Sometimes they will buy some things. They tend to usually involve drugs. They're certainly not buying diamonds. I didn't honestly expect them to be buying diamonds, but I thought I'd look just in case. So those are the more exotic delivery missions available in the game. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take a quick hop to either Crusader or Hurston, whichever is closer, because since we've gone through all this trouble of showing the delivery missions and the cargo capacity, I thought maybe you might also be interested in seeing how well it holds up in a combat situation.
Launch complete.
In order to do that, I need things to shoot. Hardcore doesn't have nearly as many things to shoot. Hurston is going to be closer, so. Theoretically, Hurston is going to be closer, except it doesn't want to let me chart a course. Which means I'm going to have to hit an orbital marker first, which I seem to conveniently be pointing right at. There are 6 orbital markers around a planetary body. 1 being the North Pole, 2 being the South Pole, and the rest being around the equator in equidistant locations. So once we get over the North Pole, I'll have a clean line of sight on Hurston. Sometimes a quantum drive does not want to play nicely. Got brake alignment and realign. And there it is, so very far away. 22 million kilometers. So let's recap the weapon systems. We have 4 missiles on board. They are size 2 missiles, cross-sectional, which means they don't care about EM or IR output, and they explode when they actually hit the target, as opposed to a proximity payload, which would be strike when it gets near the target. For guns, we've got 2 CF-227 Badger repeaters, which are laser repeaters, and we have a Mantis GT-220 Gatling, which is a ballistic Gatling gun. Unfortunately, I don't have convenient a list. Well, actually, let me rephrase that. I do, but not on this screen. I should be able to identify the size of the guns on the weapons layout here. Okay, the Gatling is a size 3 Gatling. Now, these are all currently gimbaled, which is stock equipment. You may find it, once you get comfortable firing fixed, you may find it cost effective, or at least more satisfying, to yank out the gimbal mounts so you can put on one size larger of a gun. So instead of having a size 3 gimbaled, you'd have a size 4 gun. Size 2 lasers, replace them with size 3 guns. You may also find wise, well, maybe not wise, but you may find it more effective if you make them all the same weapon, or at least the same weapon type. But, the beauty of the game is it's up to you. You get to decide what kind of weapons you put on here. You might want to go with the repeaters. You may want to go with cannons. You may want to go with scatter guns. You may think ballistic is the way to go, or lasers are the way to go, or maybe distortions. You may decide, in fact, to swap them out regularly with all different types, because they all have their advantages and disadvantages. But for now, we are going to be fiddling with the stock loadout, because this is what you would be getting if you purchased the ship for the first time. I hope that's not someone... Oops. God only knows how long that invite's been around. Then again, I've been having... With all the problems I was having earlier with disconnecting and all that, God only knows. Let's see. We are 2.5 million kilometers out of Hurston. And that puts us very, very close to their comsat range. And once the comsats are up, then we can start checking for bounty targets. .75 mil. Half a mil. Quarter mil. I'm not going any further down as far as countdowns go. That's just being abusive at that point. And And I suppose I should be disturbed by the fact that I don't see an active comsat. So you know what? Maybe we'll do our good deed for the day. Let's locate Hurston's comsat and turn it back on. Of course, it's also possible that there's already hostiles still there waiting for me, at which point I'm going to get out of Dodge because turning the thing back on ain't that important. And flying into the sun because, you know, good times. Oh, that's not good. That looks like an AI target, though. He's flying a Freelancer Miss, so you know that's actually a pretty reasonable guy to try to go after. First, before I try shooting him to death, always grab the call to arms. It's free money. Then I'm going to close in on this guy fast because, you know, Freelancer Misses, they carry lots of missiles, and I prefer not to have those missiles coming up my hind end if I can possibly avoid it. But it does make for a good demonstration as to the firepower of the Avenger Titan. Can an Avenger Titan take out a middling kind of opponent? Signs point to yes. Because his shields are definitely going, and a lot of his hull is going red, and at any moment now, he's going to go from red to bits and pieces. Maybe not. Those shields do seem to be recovering pretty good. Bye-bye, bad guy. Reset the route, so I was pretty sure that was it, but I wanted to make sure. You know, just for giggles, let's see if there's a contract to, No, that's not it. But I'll grab that one too. That way I can get paid to fix something later. Now, going inside a comsat is a pretty straightforward kind of thing. Now, if you're if it's active, there will usually be turrets trying to kill you. Let's see, I should be able to open the canopy and exit 0G. I was pretty sure I'd be able to do it that way. Okay, basically just go in through here. Preferably don't kill yourself bouncing off things too many times. Don't be like me. And we'll come around the side here. Sooner or later I'll see, there we go. And all I gotta do is just click where it says reconnect uplink. And that's that. Oh, maybe this is the one I wanted to repair because it's giving me success messages, which means I am going to be paid for doing this. So, yay me. Now, if I were a bad person who wanted to turn off the comsats, I would do something similar, except I would need a crypto key. and I'd have to go through the timing to get that shut down. Plus, I'd have to worry about, you know, those turrets I mentioned. Those nasty, mean turrets. Unfortunately, I seem to have gone out the wrong side, so I gotta circumnavigate this. I need a jetpack. As opposed to using what sounds like compressed air. Open the canopy again. Enter the ship again. And now we are going to leave as fast as we can. In fact, we're going to leave so fast, I'm going to quantum drive myself out. I've left the restricted area, and that means I should get money. 10,000 UEC. Now see how much faster it was to get 10,000 UEC doing that as opposed to running along with quantum sensitive equipment? I mean, seriously. And since we're on the subject of things that are valuable or worth doing, we're going to grab a high-risk target bounty and continue to see if the Avenger Titan can handle some of the nastier guys out there. Conveniently, he's at Aberdeen, which is kind of where I was pointing anyway. Well, kind of pointing. I guess I kind of knocked myself off alignment or something. It happens. Now, at high risk and very high risk threats, you tend to come up with one of three possible targets: a hurricane, nasty because of their scatter guns; a Vanguard Warden, which is a heavy fighter; or, the worst case scenario in this case, a Valkyrie, which is big, beefy, tanky, and has lots and lots of guns. I'm kind of hoping for the Valk because, you know, if this can take down the Valk, that gives you a pretty good impression that you can take on some of the worst of the AI opponents. Do not confuse an AI opponent with a player opponent, because player opponents are far, far more vicious. Word to the wise. Okay, let's see. My current contract that I've got sitting in my accepted on tracking is called ARMS. I want to track the actual target so I don't, you know, lose track of where he's at or find myself flying away from him when I don't want to. Okay, under 20 kilometers away, and he's not even in a heavily rocky area. And he is flying a Valkyrie. We are going to have a serious test here. I think there's a better than good chance that I'll run out of ammo before I kill him. That said, I'm probably being needlessly optimistic because there's also an excellent chance he'll kill me first. Let's get ourselves to standard combat maneuvering speed. I do not want to have any trouble maneuvering around these guys. And I'm already taking hits. I feel compelled to mention that I have not overclocked the weapons. That may or may not improve things if I were to do so. The good news is the Gatling may run out of ammo, but the lasers won't. But I feel like I kind of need them both. I do think I'm doing something. Doing something. Now there's a phrase to use. I am doing something. There's also another potential problem that could rear its ugly head at any moment. Because this isn't a high-risk threat, there's also an excellent possibility that he's going to have friends. Target destroyed. That's flying a starter ship with stock equipment, boys and girls. Well, the Titan Avenger starter. And we're going to take out those ads that have just shown up. One of which is a Buccaneer, which is, you know, lots of guns, but one advantage that you do have is that it's a Drake ship, which is automatically garbage. That said, if the Drake ship kills me, I'll deserve what I get. One down. Hornet. Okay, Hornet's a little scarier. That's a medium fighter, and if it's kitted out, it can be really nasty. The good news, though, is that it's an AI opponent, which is usually not quite kitted out. Oops, I thought I blew up the ship, but it turns out I just blew off a chunk of it. And that, as they say, is target destroyed. Okay. And that just leaves one more thing to do. I've been carrying this stack of diamonds this whole time. Maybe I should actually, I don't know, sell it. And the best place to sell it is at Lorville. It'll be a short trip to Hurston, short trip to Lorville, especially since even though Hurston has a ruthlessly evil atmosphere, I'm still flying something pretty aerodynamic. Unless I had something shot off. Do I have everything still attached? Yes.
Quantum travel complete.
So that's just head on in. Am I getting ready to black out from a quantum travel? I am. I'm blacking out from quantum travel. Well, this is going to make life really entertaining since I'll be, you know, in lower atmosphere, heading towards the surface of a planet while I'm unconscious. Yes, I can hear my breathing. Let's hope I become conscious again before I crash into the Hurston Dynamics building. Nope, there we go. I can see! I can see! And I'm going to change off this menu to my communications. And that should allow me to cover the distance a lot better. When I can move it... Okay, it looks like I'm dropping velocity fast.
Engines overheating.
Yeah, don't want to overheat the engines if I can avoid it, because having the engines conk out here feels like it would be a horrible, horrible thing. Oh, careful, don't want to black out again. Not at this point. And hopefully I will have communications opening momentarily.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
And there it is, the landing bay. All of Lorville's landing areas are vertical landing, so luckily, even though they're putting me in a tiny hangar door, I'm flying a tiny ship. There should be no problems here. I say that now.
Landing gear deployed.
Stay tuned. Okay. I seem to have lost track of the location. There we go. Cut my approach speed substantially because I don't want to screw anything up too badly in here. And we'll auto land it. Make it nice and neat. We want to be gentle with my cargo.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
I will take a moment to go into my vehicle maintenance and repair, restock, refuel.
Engines. Systems online.
We will head down to the back of the cargo bay where, once again, I still have my cargo of diamonds that I can, for some reason, walk right through. That's just disturbing on so many levels. Want to close the door now? Or did it just damage itself by... I think the ramp damaged itself by scraping the floor. And now it won't close. Well, you know what? I don't care. When I get back to the ASOP terminals, I'll just store the thing, and that'll be that. And after I spent the money to repair too. Seriously. There we are. We're going to head out to the... I used the phrase again. Yeah, I didn't use the word here, but you know, I don't consider that disqualifier. Interesting. They relabeled that as Titan 2. One of these days, I'm going to have to figure out just how it determines what Titan 1, Titan 2 is. Because sometimes they swap them interchangeably. You would think that they would hurry up and allow the naming of all the ships to go forward with all the other vessels in the game, and that they would be able to see them on the ASOP terminals, so you wouldn't bring up the wrong ones. I'd even accept the serial numbers. But I guess that would be too easy. Now we're going to head to the Central Business District.
Step away from the platform edge when train is approaching.
Because that's the place where we can sell off all our goods.
Passengers disembark before boarding.
Cargo goods. I should be specific. Then again, you can't really sell anything else but cargo goods, I guess, because... Oh, there's also the Metro Center, I guess. If you go to Metro Center, there's some stuff that you can sell there too, and buy. But the Central Business District picks up everything, so... If I'm going to be hauling cargo, that's where I'll usually drop it off.
Next stop, Central Station.
A lot of the environment of Lorville is definitely an industrial kind of look. If you want to think mining town on a large scale, probably wouldn't be too far from the truth. But when you get to the Hurston Dynamics building, well, things look a lot different. Unfortunately, I can't really get a good view of anything from here because you can only see through the sides. And I'm not 100% sure if it's going to be on the left or on the right. I think it's going to be on the right. Well, put it this way. It's the big, honking, huge building we saw on the approach. The kind of building you can see from space.
Now arriving, Central Station. Please watch your
Must be nice to be a mega rich person. Able to purchase planets, and on those planets build freaking huge structures. Not to mention those huge statues, which are undoubtedly made out of pure laranite. I would say gold, but let's face it, gold isn't nearly as valuable in comparison to laranite. Laranite's where the money's at. Of course, everybody else knows that too, which is why you can never find any to cargo haul. Must be nice to be able to afford that kind of thing. The kind of person who would be so rich that they could use 890 jumps as poker chips. Legend, you made it! Just in time to reach near the end of the stream. I am about to sell off my massive cargo hold of diamonds. Ooh, 5,800. I'm rolling in it now. And you made it. That's what counts. So what have we seen today? Let's paraphrase the good folks at the CIG when they're doing their ISC. What have we learned today? We've learned that the Titan Avenger is worthy of the billing of being the best starter ship to buy. $60 pledge, or fairly inexpensive as far as credits go in-game. It's capable of doing the cargo delivery missions of all sorts, including the quantum travel ones and the timed ones, and has enough stock equipment that it can take out Anvil Valkyries on high-risk targets. That is pretty respectable for a $60 ship. Even less, technically, because the $60, I think, that includes the game package. I think if you go by the actual ship itself, I think it might actually be cheaper. I can't prove it. I have to look. Regardless, if you have the extra $15, go for it over the Aurora or the Mustang. It can do pretty much all the content in the game at a smaller scale, but like I said, since bounty huntings are where it's at right now, that will be a big moneymaker. Legends agrees with it being a very capable fighter. He and Cap dueled with him in one, and Legend into Gladius, and the Gladius apparently failed. Wouldn't get it out right. Well, you know, here I was with my Titan Avenger all by itself, stock equipment, and I was taking out Valkyries. And it wasn't exactly a hard fight either. And that was, I mean, just imagine if I were using non-gimbaled weapons, if I ripped out the gimbals and put on better guns, who knows how much more gruesome that fight would have been for the Valkyrie. I'd like to thank everybody for stopping by and watching, even though we had those technical glitches early on that kind of stalled things out for a little bit. But, you know, challenges happen, bugs happen, and that is what Star Citizen is all about. Read into that what you will. I will be streaming Star Citizen again next Saturday. I will be back on my Saturday schedule, 1 o'clock p.m. to approximately 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Yes, the Avenger does have those nice variants. We talked about the Warlock with its EMP generator, the Stalker with its ability to stuff people into after you do the live capture. I think you're getting them backwards there, Legend. I will also be streaming on Wednesday night, where I stream Star Trek Online at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern to approximately 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Hope you all enjoyed the show. I tried to make it somewhat entertaining. I hope you were entertained, aside from that, glitch we ran into around 1:30ish. I hope you'll join me again. Thank you for watching. This is Korath Landwalker, signing off.